and thanks for joining us for News Bulletin. You're with me, Tandy Wimzumara. Let's take a look at our top stories. Archbishop of Tijuana, Mexico, condemns attacks by organized crime in U.S.-Mexico border area. President Che Guevara calls for solidarity among SADC member states in dealing with challenges affecting the bloc. Action against political impunity postpones planned demos over Che Guevara's absence. And in international news, judge lifts gag order in Kenya presidential pause case. We do have the details to these stories and more, to stay with us. Archbishop of The Archbishop of Tijuana, Mexico, Baron, across the border from Metro San Diego in the United States, Archbishop Francisco Moreno, has condemned the 20 attacks which have been carried out in several towns in the state of Baja California. He issued a statement regarding the public transportation vehicles set on fire by armed men on the afternoon and night of August 12th in Tijuana, Tecate, Ensenada, Mexicali, and Rosarito towns on or not far from the U.S. border. The Archbishop condemned what he called a painful scenario that harms the entire society, which is suffering from the consequences of problems that must find other ways of being solved, never with the violence that always causes more violence. We have more details on this Catholic News Agency report read by Alina Faypiri.
According to the newspaper El Universal, witnesses to some of the incidents said that the armed men stopped the vehicles, threatened the drivers, forced them to get off with all their passengers, and then poured on fuel and set the public transport vehicles on fire. The motive for the attacks is unclear, but the senseless violence may be related to turf wars between rival cartels. On Twitter, the governor of Baja California, Marina del Pilar Villavera, condemned the violence and said that some individuals responsible for the incidents that occurred have already been arrested. Archbishop Francisco Moreno has since asked people to stay calm and be informed through official or reliable means of communication, avoid false or alarmist messages, and create networks of true information and social support. The Archbishop said he appreciated and was thankful for the efforts made in solidarity with the stranded passengers to help them, as thousands of people without public transport on the streets and trying to get home are also being helped. After assuring that he is closely monitoring information from state and city officials on public safety conditions, the Archbishop of Tijuana invited the faithful to pray for peace in Mexico and in the state of Baja California. The attacks took place one day after Daddy Juarez, situated across the Rio Grande from El Paso, Texas, which left at least 11 dead.
Still on church news, Mangochi Diocese of the Catholic Church in Malawi has a new priest 4 years after the last ordination. The ordination of Deacon Frank Chiwaula took place at St. Mary's in Taja, where speaking to the congregation during Mass, Right Reverend Bishop Montfort Stima of the diocese called on Christians to start helping priests with mobility means, as priests have challenges in serving their parishioners without proper mobility means. We have more details on this report filed by Rashida Matandika.
The last ordination of diocesan priest for Mangochi Diocese happened in 2018 with a break to this year's ordination. While welcoming the new priest and appreciating Christians from the diocese for their support, Right Reverend Bishop Montfort Stima asked them to grow up in self-reliance and support their priest with mobility means. Giving an example on how priests are showered with gifts during ordination, Bishop Stima said all gifts that are given are appreciated, but the element of how the priest will save the people and their movements is overlooked, such that when sent to parishes, they experience challenges in visiting other long-distance out centers. He has advised them to one time consider gifting the newly ordained priest with even a low-modeled vehicle other than foodstuffs. The newly ordained priest, Father Frankie Chiwaula, is originally from Mbaza village, traditional authority in Kaya in Balaka district, and will now be serving at Koche Parish with Father Paul Raposo. On the day, 5 priests also celebrated silver jubilees in priesthood and renewed their vows to continue with their journey of serving the Lord's people. The 5 are Father Clemens Pindulani, Father Francis Kajele, Father Fanuel Masagatila, Father Lucius Picado, and Father George Nyanga. For Luntha TV, this is Rashida Matandika reporting.
State President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera has today handed over the SADC leadership, calling for unity among the member states of the SADC region, noting that solidarity is the major key in dealing with most of the challenges faced by the bloc. President Chakwera urged the member states in his SADC Day message to continue working hard and collaboratively towards advancing the economic integration of the region for better development. Further, President Chakwera stated his appreciation towards the support that he received during Malawi's tenure as the chair of Southern African Development Community SADC, saying it will definitely go a long way. We have more details on this report filed by Jacqueline Saidi.
President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera took over as the chairperson of the Southern African Development Community SADC in 2021 with a call to tackle inequalities in accessing COVID-19 vaccines. Chakwera, who took over from Mozambique's Felipe Nyusi at the 41st SADC Summit, which was held in Lilongwe, Malawi, said the disparities in accessing COVID-19 vaccines seriously hinder efforts to save the lives of millions in the SADC region, saying Africans had a moral duty to refuse to be treated as second class in the global economy. As he has finished his tenure, President Chakwera has commended the SADC member states for working together towards achieving the various policies which the bloc laid out for its development. In his message for the 42nd Ordinary Summit of Heads of State and Governments, the outgoing SADC chair called upon his counterparts to continue working collaboratively and in unity for the development community to achieve its set goals and also to achieve high results of the theme of this year's summit.
That stand in the way of our quest to vaccinate our populations and increase industrial production within our trade and our nations. That is why our theme under the leadership of Malawi as the chair of SADC, bolstering productive capacities in the face of COVID-19 for inclusive, sustainable economic and industrial transformation. I therefore urge